Hello everyone, and thanks for tuning into the Financial Investor channel. My name is Brent, and today we're going to be doing our stock market weekly recap for October 1st through the 5th. We're going to go over the four main indexes, changes that happened last week over the four main indexes for this week, what happened with them, go over some stocks that were discussed over in the news, go over all the articles that I shared over on my Facebook page, and then take a look at home builders, energy, oil, silver, gold, bonds, and the yield curve. A couple articles that were released earlier today. I know I talked about yields. I talked about China holding a lot of our debt in the U.S. So those are some articles I shared over the Facebook, and we'll kind of cover just a little bit of that here along the way. So hopefully we'll try and wrap it up here within 10 to 15 minutes. And of course, if you are brand new to my channel, I do make stock market, personal finance, and real estate investment videos weekly. So consider subscribing, and if you do like the video, hit the thumbs up button below. I appreciate it. So last week we had a bit of a mix. S&P 500 had sold off 0.54%. Dow Jones had also sold off 1.07%. The NASDAQ was the winner last week, going up 0.72. So a bit of a cool off this week you can expect. The Russell 2000 down 0.92%, and my portfolio moved up slightly at 0.52. Praxair and Linde got basically authorized by the Chinese antitrust authority that they were approved and could go on with their merger, which should be happening here very soon. Praxair jumped on Monday up 5%. I also released my 5 stocks to buy next week going ex-dividend. Avi and Raytheon and a few others made that list, so if you haven't checked it out, head over to my website, check it out. Covered also a video. I released it on Wednesday. Bernie Sanders is trying to break up these huge financial companies such as JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, Berkshire Hathaway. He believes that they allow the U.S. economy to have too much risk, exposes them to too much risk. I had a lot of people reacted to that one, so pretty interesting article. I thought that was nice to have it shared out. Amazon agreed to pay their workers $15 an hour, but that puts them in a limbo state. They remove their bonuses. They no longer get bonuses. They no longer get stock options. I would rather get paid $14, $13 and get bonuses and stock options than be put over $15 or at $15, because right about that point, you can begin to get out of the government benefits. You no longer get these stock options. You no longer get these government benefits. You're sort of in that limbo state. Wednesday, presidential alert came out. Apple, Wednesday, hitting all-time highs of $233.47 before having a bit of a cool-off period there. So they hit their record high right there, $233. That would have been an optimal time to have opted out of that company. I know there's been a lot of opinions out there as far as Apple cooling off here. 401ks, where should you be right now in your age? Inside your 401k. This is an interesting article. If you guys want to stop the video, take a look at this. I am 33, so I should be holding between $137,000 and $212,000 within my 401k or some sort of savings. And where do you guys sit as far as this portfolio goes? Are you meeting your goal or exceeding your goal? So bond yields were the main topic of Thursday, as bonds had a huge sell-off, increased yields from somewhere around 3.07. I don't know if they hit 3.2. I know they did hit 3.2 at some point during the week. 10-year treasury yields. I know on Friday there was another huge sell-off as well. People are trying to estimate who's behind it. A lot of people are looking over to China, and we posted here on Friday talking about Friday news. Tesla, basically, Elon Musk over there tweeting out some SEC jabs, kind of trolling them. Apple and Amazon having some news about China's spy chip in their products. Apple and Amazon both said no. Should Buffett sell his Apple position? Probably not. A lot of it, he's already doubled it, or at least went up by 30-40% on most of his positions. And how Apple and Amazon news helped Samsung. I released my financial app just about a month and a half ago called the Simple Dividend Calculator over on the Android store. With one app, about 200 uploads or downloads right now, 200 installs. It's making about $10 to $15 a month. I thought that was pretty interesting to share. I'm going to be releasing my brand new app called the Simple Dividend Calculator. It's basically a very simple calculator. You enter your current age. It kind of gives you a plan. So your retirement age, how long you plan to live in retirement, your annual withdrawal at the age of with retirement, and it punches out some numbers. So if I were to retire at the age of 60, have 27 years to reach my investment goal, I would need to deposit $15,000, and then I would be able to withdraw $70,000 per year, or about $5,833 per month. So is that pretty accurate as far as a goal for everyone? Well, this is actually an interesting point that I pulled from a Facebook group that I'm involved in. This user shared that they have a portfolio of $641,372, and they're making roughly, $2,700 in dividends per month. They've also received for the past 12 months, trailing 12 months, $50,000, almost $51,000 there, with a portfolio about half that size. So if you doubled 2737, you would get 5474. If you doubled 641 by 2, you would get close to about $1.2, $1.3 million. So does that math look about right? Yes, it does look about right. And totally, easily to plan for. Like if you want to invest $70,000, you want to be able to withdraw $70,000 per year, you really only have to invest like $200 or $300 per week to reach your goal, and that's between your Roth 401k, your Roth IRA, your taxable accounts, any sort, that's not including Social Security, any sort of other benefits you may receive, rental income. So that's just from the stock market there. China versus U.S. China holds the ultimate weapon in the trade war with the U.S. So this is basically our debt. They are the number one controller of U.S. debt. So when all else fails, China holds the basically the golden gun. If we go back to that golden eye terms, so they basically control. Let's see how much. I don't know how much they control of the U.S.'s debt, but all they need to do, if China wanted to, they could just sell off a massive amount of our bonds. That would just cause our dollar to, would it cause it to go up or down? If there's more debt, that may cause the dollar to rise. Yeah, more in the market would be less, maybe less. I think it would cause it to fall, but I'd have to Google that. I'm not sure off the top of my head, but people are predicting that China began to sell off a lot of the U.S.'s debt on Friday as a test to the U.S., saying, hey, look, we can control your stock market. If you guys hit us with these tariffs, we could sell off your guys' bonds and kind of affect you guys. So I think, it could be China is already down. So I think China's basically down in a bear market right now. If push comes to shove, they may take advantage of it and use it against the U.S. So we'll kind of see how that kind of plays out here in the future. Friday, released an article going over my response to a user talking about, is there a way on M1 Finance to turn off the auto invest feature? Yes, there is. I went over a retirement example of a retired person. Retiring at 60 with $70,000 per year income. So we basically just use the calculator. Interesting video there if you guys want to check that out. Now, jumping over to this week's 4 main indexes. I know I've already covered my whole Facebook thing, and that was probably a little bit lame. We're already 8 minutes into this, but let's go over the 4 main indexes and some of the news for the week. So S&P 500 moved down 0.97%. Good start of the week, and then as yields began to rise towards the end of the week, that really crashed the market out. Not really crash, it's a bit of a dip. You can see huge sell-offs here in the bond market, ticker symbol BND. Huge sell-off over there, ending us at a down of 0.97. Dow Jones, basically the exact same thing. Dow Jones, a lot of positions moved from some of those technology growth stocks to some of those Dow Jones unloved stocks. Financials got a boost. Let's see what else got a bit of a boost. Praxair. A lot of the defensive stocks made really good moves here on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Even General Electric, which we're going to cover here in just a minute. That's one of the biggest winners I've seen. Whoops, I just pulled that out of there. There we are. And so Dow Jones down 0.04, pretty flat. NASDAQ going down 3.21%. Not really the loser, but I believe people are starting to look at technology and kind of pulling out a little bit, saying, hey, do I really want to be exposed in this market to so much of these growth technology stocks? And then the Russell 2000 as, mainly national stocks here. This is the biggest hitter here with these high yields. The dollar kind of creeping around, and a couple other, items out there down 3.8%. Basically a 4% loss right there, just in the week there. So Tesla was on the news this week. Elon Musk tweeted out saying, SEC, but not really using the SEC terms. He started off this week up 17.35%. Then he released his tweet. People responded to his tweet saying, dude, what are you doing? Stop it. I've lost my life savings because of you. Blah, blah, blah. So lots of negativity here. While he was up 17% on Monday, he was down 1% by the end of Friday. Year to date, Tesla is down nearly 16%. Apple hit all-time highs on Wednesday before article on Thursday coming out about that Chinese spy chip, and yields continuing to rise. So 10-year Treasury yields basically caused Apple, and we basically needed a cool-off period. So we did lose 0.64%, and Apple right there. General Electric this week jumped up huge on Monday. So on Monday, General Electric came out basically almost in the double-digit growth initially, but look at this. Towards the end of the day, they were still up 7%. They had basically went up some 10-14% at the start of the day, and this is all because the company announced that they would be replacing the current CEO, John Flannery. He had only been in the position for just a few months, and they're going to be putting in some new CEO. I believe his name is like Lawrence Culp, and we'll kind of see how it goes from there. I know a lot of investors over in the Facebook groups are discussing taking a position in General Electric. I think they've already kind of skipped the goose there, but it's only at $13. We'll see how this one plays out. Will it go down in the future? Coming back down to that $10, $11 point, we shall see. AMD had a bit of a sell-off this week. This is one of those where I believe it started up very high towards the highs for the week, but began to have a huge sell-off and ended up down 11.46%. So if this position is getting sold off, where do you think this money is going? What's a more defensive position but still within the same sector? I believe that people sold out of AMD and moved their money into Intel. You can see Intel had a huge flow of cash going in on Tuesday morning, and on Wednesday morning they were up nearly 4 or 5% there between Tuesday and Wednesday, and then they got hit with the yields on Thursday, Friday, dragging them down 0.55% there. So really interesting there. Thursday, Eli Lilly had a huge spike here. Basically, company came out saying that their trial for the diabetes drug showed clinical meaningful trials that it showed that there was a blood sugar reduction and like weight loss, and this is all to help those type 2 diabetes patients out there. So this stock jumped up 4% on the day of the news and then continued to trend higher on Friday, regardless of the yield curve or the high yields there in the bond market. So congratulations anyone out there who was taking a look at Eli Lilly. I was looking at Eli Lilly, AbbVie, and Medtronic, MDT. I know me and my friend were talking about these pharmaceutical stocks to kind of jump into. I purchased one of them this week, so we'll go over that the month end. But Eli Lilly up 7.18%. Barnes & Noble was on the news here on Thursday, up over 20%, 21.79 and 4.51. Ending for the week up 19.83%. Basically, the company announced on Thursday they were going to be, going out there looking for some possible bids to get the company and, sell off, and they're kind of reviewing their options. So right now, Barnes & Noble is selling at $6.95. Do you think this company will sell to someone else at around $12, $13, $14? This could be a good opportunity if you believe that this company has low valuations in comparison to where it could possibly sell it in the future. So it was near these $5 and some change there, and they closed at $6.95 now. So very nice run up. They're exploring being sold there. So interesting. Stock futures are currently down going into Monday. I'm off on Monday because I have banker's hours, but stock market will still continue to be open. So that'll be interesting. I got to do some training on Monday. So S&P 500 currently looking down in the futures, down 0.44. NASDAQ down point, and Dow Jones down 0.5 point there. So some of the big stock movers here in the after hours look to be Ford moving up 0.22. Intel moving up 0.32. Some serious holdings. NLY, that was one of mine. MU continue to fall down here. It's just slightly here in the after hours. Joint Electric, this shows 0%. I don't know why it even shows up here as most active if it doesn't have any movement. But Facebook continuing to have a bit of a sell-off there. So moving over to home builders, yields are climbing, interest rates are rising. The new interest rates are 5.25%. Fed raised them last Wednesday by 0.25%. I talked to my mortgage loan advisor about what our rates are, and as far as investment rates, they still remain the same. At my credit union, our rates right now are like 5.315%. So I'm working on refinancing one of my properties here pretty soon, and I'm going to try and lock in that rate as fast as I can. I talked to a couple other investors. They're getting offers at JP Morgan of 6% for their investment properties. So we're going to be checking around portfolio lenders, credit unions, and the big financials and kind of comparing them and kind of go from there. But home builders right now, I still see a lot of people making bids, offers, buying houses. The market is still moving, but home builders for some reason, sold off 3.28%. This could just be due to high, yields basically, possibly. I don't have the specifics on here, but time to buy the beaten down home builders. This isn't an ETF I would exactly buy at this moment. I think it's still going to get beat down for a little bit longer. Oil news this week as we kind of trail down here to our October comments. You can go ahead and pause the video here, but sanctions are continuing to kind of backfire against the U.S., causing oil to continue to rise higher and higher. Looks like, I know last week we talked about barrels were $76 per barrel. They're rising to $83 per barrel. They're expected to possibly hit $100 per barrel here in the future as oil prices continue to rise. So oil right now, 5-day change up 1.10%. Year to date, oil is up 30.64%. That's a huge change there for oil. US dollar also, I believe it got stronger this week. Yeah, it got stronger this week. Yields were rising. The dollar really helped us out by staying strong. If the dollar had fell and our yields had rise, that would be probably even worse for the stock market here. But dollar is at $95.60, and it started this week at 95 and some change there, $95.14 roughly. So dollar continuing to get a little bit stronger as yields are going higher. A little bit more expensive to take out those loans, and money is getting more expensive. So gold this week, or not gold, silver. This is just paper silver moving up slightly. This could be due to yields rising. The dollar was strong, which is, usually when the dollar stays strong, the silver and gold go down. But in this example, we have the dollar going stronger, silver continuing to rise there slightly, 0.15%. I think we may have hit a bottoming out point as far as silver goes. Anywhere below that $14 point, I believe, is a good time to buy. So if you had bought at that $12, $13 point, I think this is a good opportunity. I have a sack of silver, just physical silver. I don't own any paper silver, but I do own some physical silver. Gold continued to rise this week as well, as I guess the dollar did stay stronger. So interesting there. Price to gold up 0.92% year to date. Again, we hit that bottoming out phase. So $112, $113. That good? Let me know what you guys are buying. I haven't, I've heard some people buying up gold and silver, but that's not what I'm looking at right now. Bond market here. Bond market continuing to sell off here on Thursday and Friday, causing yields to hit nearly 3.2%, if not higher. So we have our 10-year, which does not show up here. Should show up on our next website here. Bonds, okay. 10-year yields 3.22%. So 3.22%. I know a lot of investors out there are still buying. They're moving some money to bonds. I don't care much for bonds. I still make a 3% return. All my dividends getting paid out to me. I'll be able to buy more shares at a cheaper, discounted price. I don't have that much as far as stock market money goes. I may have a couple of thousands between my Roth 401. Oh, what was my change for the week? I went down 0.43%. So I didn't quite go down as, I think I lost the least. No, Dow Jones beat me out. So I did lose 0.43% this week. I went down I think I went down across everything. My biggest loser was my IRA, moving down 0.63%. That was Apple. That Apple sold off there, but not much else. So bonds are currently, as far as the prime rates, 5.3 or 5.25, and 10-year yields are the main thing to look at. Will it remain at 3.2 or higher? We shall see if the continuation of sell-off will go into Monday. Let me know what you guys are going to do in this upcoming week in the comment section below. And of course, that is it for this video. If you guys did enjoy the video, give it a thumbs up button below. If there's anything that I may have missed, I try to cover as much as I could, as quick as I could. So hopefully it did help you out. If you guys want to check it out, check out my website. I posted a bunch of articles here about, China's ultimate weapon, yields changing over the next couple of days here. So I thought these are some really interesting articles, and 3 reasons why the U.S. government, U.S. Treasury government bond yields are soaring. So just some interesting news there that you guys should check out. So that is it for this video. If you guys did enjoy it, hit the thumbs up button below. If you are brand new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. I do make stock market and all sorts of other financial related videos. And of course, quick disclaimer, I am not a financial advisor or tax professional. The information provided in these videos is my opinion for entertainment and fun. This is not investment advice. This is just me as a financial investor trying to help others make their money work for them. And if you guys want to, check out my new app coming out here soon. I will post a link. I'll probably make a video and then post a link in the description below that video. But I think it'll be fun. So thank you guys for tuning in. I will see you next time. Have a great week. Bye-bye.